And hello, Kahatnas. It's June 6, 2020, and tonight we are going to discuss the origins of Hilot. And indeed, I want to welcome everyone to our lesson 4. And I'm so happy that you are advancing to our lesson. Although every one of us is new here, right? And uh, and I'm glad that you are following through our lesson from lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and now we are in lesson 4. Actually, I already have prepared your quiz for this topic, for this lesson, and soon after broadcasting this or recording this video lesson, I will upload now our lesson 5 as well as the exams. So let's begin. Okay, so the topic for today is the origin of Hilot. Where do Hilot originated? When do it start? No, is there a certain person that that start the practice of Hilot? So let us find out. No, but this is the story. Okay, to begin with, there are no written record that talks about the origin of Hilot. Unlike other modality of healing, such as the massage therapy, Swedish massage, or the shiatsu massage of Japan, they have a specific person to attribute with the development of that healing modality. So, as on Thai massage and Ayurveda, they would pertain it to a certain person. Even the traditional Chinese medicine, it has origin with the yellow emperor. But what about Hilot? So where it came from and how does it start? No, historically there are no evidence that there are written record that tells about the beginning of Hilot. So probably I am redundant now in telling this, but the modern medicine arrived here in the Philippines is when the Spanish colonizer came in the Philippines during the 1500. To be exact is 1521, and the study of modern medicine began during 1600s. No, there the Spanish chronicler, the Spanish friar, have studied herbal medicine, and they have compiled the ways of the Filipino botanicals, and they pattern the modern medicine to the herbal medicine that been practiced by our ancestors. So even before the coming of Spaniards in our country, we have our own medicines already. Our ancestors, how to take care of our health, our ancestors, how to treat illness. Uh, to their citizens, and at the same time, of course, there are cure treatment. They have also a form of diagnosis or detecting or process of detecting what kind of illness that comes to a person, though it is believed uh, that the body system of the Filipino or the human anatomy of the Filipino is like the Chinese medicine. No, the Chinese anatomy and physiology are different from the Western anatomy and physiology, but the anatomy of the Filipino probably might be the same with the Western, but people only remember the things that is important to them, such as when we talk about ugat. No, ugat, literally ugat has many meaning in English. If we translate it to English, ugat probably may be the root of the plant, so that is ugat. Then Secondly, on human, it can be the nerve endings. It could be the fiber. It could also be uh, the vein, the arteries, and the capillary. So when we talk about ugat, it is part of the body of a person that has many meaning. Now, when we translate it to English, and the thing that the Filipino call their body part, they recall it in accordance to its importance, such as um, on our internal organ we have the word atay for the liver, but we don't have. I think the spleen is lapay, and I don't know what is in the Tagalog about the pancreas, or even the stomach is sikmura, and there is no difference between the large intestine and the small intestine because we call that as bituka. No, so we're not talking about the human anatomy here, but what I'm telling you here is how how our ancestor remembers their body part. Though, if you study modern medicine, it is more complex because every part, each single part of our body has a name. Though in 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 the traditional medicine, in Filipino medicine, our ancestors have limited names, though we as a modern manghihilot or hilot binabaylan, it is challenge for us to discover our culture, no? Although on my part, these are the things that I have done in conducting research, but for you as well, when you finish this study on our hilot ng agamang binabaylan, on the mind and spirit working class, I challenge you to explore also, to help me to be part of the academy by conducting your own research so that we could still improve our academy, our lesson on what topic that we are going to share to the world. And with that, we are promoting our own culture, our own healing practices and tradition. So going back, no, um, since since there is no written record, it only means that the practice of hilot predates it predates the modern method of record keeping or writing records, no, such as writing or documenting things, no. And there is also a story that, or a rumor, or fact that during the colonization, most of the Spaniard friars or priests burned our materials, and there's nothing left. And because of the belief that our healing practices are are attached to the practices of spirituality, of the ancient spirituality of the Filipino, because as manghihilot, we are also called as babaylan, which is a religious leader at the time, no, before the colonization start. The manghihilot serve as a babaylan, a counselor, and a leader and a judge, no. So as a doctor, or the primary or a traditional medicine doctor, or the doctor at that time, we are on a highest position in the society. Like what I have said on my previous video, if you remember, that there is also a question that why do a manghihilot does not accept payment from their services. I told you that it is not that the manghihilot does not accept payment, but it only shows that the practice of hilot only receives a gift, no, because it only proves that the practice of hilot predates the existence of money. Hello? Okay. I don't know what happened to my camera. So that's the thing with regards to the practice of hilot. So the money was introduced in the coming of Spain, so as the modern medicine also introduced by Spain. But what is, or how do the Filipino um, uh, how do the Filipino what is the Filipino healthcare delivery system before, and who are the ones that provides healing? No, is there any evidences that the Filipino people before the colonization have their methods of healing? No, when you go to the National Museum, Philippine National Museum, or on some history book, the earliest record, no, there is not no not no exact book that tells that, oh, this is the practice of the Filipino, but there is a certain place in the Philippines that has a cave wall, and that cave can be found in Angono, Binangonan, Rizal. And that cave, you can see an engraving, a carving, no, of animals, of people, and everything. So probably, if you read our material, you can see that there are wall carvings there, no, and that wall carving is called the petroglyphs, the Angono, Binangonan petroglyph is the only evidence that I could say, no, as a researcher, I am claiming that that is the first evidence that people know how to write, but at the same time, on that wall carving, on the wall carving engraving that been can be seen on the Angono Binangonan petroglyph, it shows that it is associated, no, for the symbolism associated towards healing and sympathetic magic. So here we can see that when somebody is sick, they will write it on the wall, because the wall has the cave has a life because it's a limestone. They carve it as a form of prayer. And here we can see the behavior of our ancestors, that they associated illness towards the activity of the spirit. And in Hilot, we don't we believe that illness start on the spiritual realms, because we believe that illness, no, is a disobedience from the natural law, like what I said before, no. So that's the origin of Hilot, no. But who is the Mangi Hilot beforehand, or how did he obtain the knowledge of healing? and and the knowledge of healing of Mangi Hilot was passed down orally. So actually, if there is a healer, the patient that been healed become an apprentice, no. So if you became a patient of Hilot, Manghilot, if you have treatment from a Manghilot, you become the student, no. And later on, if you really attend to serve, to assist the Manghihilot, you will observe. So the learning of Manghihilot is through observation, no, by assisting the patient, letting them down, and you will stand and see how the Manghihilot perform. And of course, because you are observing, you are looking at on how the Manghihilot perform his healing, you ask question, and the Manghihilot gladly share his knowledge of what he does, and by that, the knowledge is passed down. So unlike now at modern time, no, we are sharing knowledge through academy, through video, and through writing. So it's more easier today than before. But before, you really have to attend to a healing session in order to learn. And actually, before this pandemic, that is the reason why I ask you to come to our place, to spend the whole week with us, night and day, because during that day, who knows, there might be people who come and ask for healing. Then you yourself will personally observe and witness how I perform healing. But then, as a rule, for the in-person or live-in learning Hilot, the first requirement is that you must experience the Hilot that I provide. So you will have this session with me, and from that, no, you will notice how much pressure I gave you and all the procedures that I've done, and you will imitate that. So most of the time, most of the learning before, no, in the past, was through observation and imitation of what the original manghihilot does. But who is the original manghihilot? No, in our timeline and in our last reading material, I have shared to you that there was a lonely God in the past. Before everything was made, there was a God, and this God, the name of this God is Kabunian. Kabunian is a supreme deity, a supreme God from the northern provinces of Luzon in the Philippine island, no, in Luzon Island. So technically, he is from the Cordillera region, the mountainous province of Luzon. And this God was lonely, and he decided to create mankind to become his companion, his helper, his co-creator. So when he create man, he picked up a piece of dust and mix it with water. No? He mixed it with water to form clay. When it was become a clay, he make it a form into human. He gave us the face, the nose, the eyes, the eyebrow, even the hair, the neck, and the body, the boobs, etc., from head to toe. So when it was formed, he put it inside an oven to be cooked. But when he does that, God became tired and fall asleep, no? So he's been awakened by the smell of burning. So he ran towards the oven and checked, oh, the first man has burned. But then even it was burned, not perfect, he blew the breath of life towards the first man, which is the black race, or the father, or the parent of the black race. So for second time around, Kabunian make a man again. So the same procedure, he pick up dirt, put water, make a clay form, put it in the oven. But this time, Kabunian becomes alert, and so because of excitement, he pulled out man out of oven, but unfortunately, it was raw. But then, still not perfect enough. He blew, he blew the breath of life on that man, and and start the race of the white people. So that was the second creation. And on the third one, so he becomes vigilant. So he's not excited or reluctant, but gave time. So he created man, put it in the oven, and waited for the right moment to come when it's cooked. When it is cooked, he said, oh, this is the brown race. Then he blew and gave the breath of life, and then that is the ancestor of the brown race, which is the lahing kayumanggi. It is our race, your race, and that is the human race, no? So we can see God created all colors. Even the black people was burned and the white people was raw. God did not throw them away because God gave them breath of life and knows that each life matter. So the black life matter, the white life matter, and the brown life matter. And what does it mean that all life matter? All life is sacred. That's why he value every life that he created. No? So from that, we believe as manghihilot that the first manghihilot is kabunian or the creator. If you notice, the story is almost similar to the Genesis story of creation, but we can see that God worked his hand towards humanity to form them and give them value and life. And as manghilot, as a healer, no, we do not choose to discriminate people if they are black. We treat them. We do not choose to discriminate the white, but we treat them and we do not discriminate one another as a brown race. And we treat you well to be healed because all life comes from the divine and we are the co-creator of the divine in maintaining life in this world that we have. And I think that's the way how Hilot originate. And we believe that there are generations of healer, and the first healer was the Creator God, and the second one are the elder, which is the Babaylan. And if you notice the black race, they are the first creation that God made, and compare it to the indigenous people around the world, they are also black. So they are our elder. The black people are our elder. They possess the wisdom because God, kabunian, have choose them to be the bearer of the knowledge of life and death. And through them we learn also this indigenous healing source of Hilot, no? The natural healing method that our race have. And with that, I have to end up, and I hope that you have learned something from our lesson tonight. So until then, may you all blessed be peace. Bye. Paano ba to? So wait.